Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and it is time for another Read It or Not challenge. I'm so excited to be picking up this jar this week, figuring out what we're reading together, and getting some books off of my physical shelves. That's the name of the game. Basically, if I draw something, I either have to read it or not. I have to unhaul it and pick again. So I am really hoping for like easy breezy reads this month. It's summer. I want fun and fast and entertaining. I don't want slogs. So like a romance would be great. A thriller would be great. Even like a high-paced historical would be all right. But knowing me, I'll probably draw a red. I will link all of my other previous Read It or Not challenges down below in the description in case you've missed it, but I'm picking this one. A blue! Blue is mystery or thriller. So, and I have a hair on it somehow. I shed like crazy. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, this is on my Kindle. What Happened at the Lake by Phil M. Williams. Let me look it up on Goodreads to give you a little bit of a description. But like lake life is summery, so could be good. Let's see. Oh, it has an average rating of 4 stars. So the description says, they went on vacation. Not everyone made it back. The Palmers went to the lake for a week of fun in the sun, but Alex Palmer had an agenda. He wanted his brother to reconcile with their hyper-competitive father. He wanted his daughter to break up with her shady boyfriend. Most of all, Alex wanted them to be a family one more time before he faced his predicament at home. Evil incarnate and a brutal double murder shifted Alex's focus from wants to needs. He needed to keep his family safe. He needed to find her. He needed to know what happened at the lake. It says, note to reader, this is a dark psychological thriller that delves into depraved acts of humanity. For adult readers only who can handle these subject matters. Okay. I am hoping I can find this on audio these next couple of days, Saturday and Sunday. I have a lot of driving. We're going to my grandma's birthday party. We're going to a musical this afternoon up in the Twin Cities, and tomorrow we have a parade. So it'd be great if I could find this on audio. Fingers crossed. I got to 12% of the way through What Happened at the Lake, and I'm going to DNF it. In that first little bit of the book, there were already 4 instances of older men being super creepy to younger women in a sexual way, and just put me off. I also wasn't super intrigued by what was going to happen at the lake. So I'm going to DNF it. I'm going to delete it from my Kindle. Not necessary for me to read. Which means I already get to pick another book. I like the progress being made, but I wish I was reading books that I enjoyed. So let's see what we can get. Again, I would love another thriller or romance. Oh, okay. Orange is historical fiction. Let's see what we got. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're having a very Kindle heavy month because I believe House of Thieves is on my Kindle. Let me open her up. And just so you can see, I'm going to delete, remove, permanently delete What Happened at the Lake. Yes, delete. Okay, goodbye. What's the book? House of Thieves by Charles Belfour. Let's see. Unfortunately, I don't have high hopes because I think it's one of those Amazon first reads again. Historical fiction, thriller, suspense. Okay. In 1886 New York, a respectable architect shouldn't have any connection to the notorious gangs of thieves and killers that rules the underbelly of the city. But when John Cross's son racks up an unfathomable gambling debt to Kent's gents, Cross must pay it back himself. All he has to do is use his inside knowledge of high society mansions and museums to craft a robbery even the smartest detectives won't solve. The take better include some cash too. The bigger the payout, the faster this will be over. With a newfound talent for sniffing out vulnerable and lucrative targets, Cross becomes invaluable to the gang, but Cross's entire life has become a balancing act, and it will only take one mistake for it all to come crashing down, and for his family to go down too. Okay, so it's a historical fiction thriller, which I did say I wanted a thrilling historical fiction earlier, did I not? So let's give it a try. I am 21% through House of Thieves. Is that what I'm reading? House of Thieves. And it's all right. We're following two main gentlemen. Their last names are Cross and Kent. Mr. Cross and Mr. Kent. Mr. Kent is kind of like a member of a mob. He loans money to a lot of people and then needs to cash in on that debt. And Mr. Cross's son is $48,000 in debt to Mr. Kent. When Mr. Kent learned that Mr. Cross is an architect and has designed a lot of big buildings are they in New York? I think in New York. And buildings that house very expensive items, Kent says that Cross can pay off his son's debt if he helps him rob these buildings. It's like semi-interesting, but we're getting to like the heist part and I really don't care. I'm wanting to read a book about laundry more than I'm wanting to read this, which is saying something because I don't like laundry, but this book is making me want to do laundry and read about laundry. So I think I'm gonna take it as I don't want to read this. I hope I don't regret it later, but I don't know. I'm not in the mood. I want to read something that's better that I'll actually want to read. So we're getting the jar out again. This is crazy. We're only on day 2 of this challenge and I'm pulling my 3rd book. So let's see what we get. This one. Another orange. Another historical fiction. Let's see what we got. Hello, can you load, please? Silka's Journey? I've read that. So we can throw that one to the side and draw again. Silka's Journey by Heather Morris is a second book in the Tattooist of Auschwitz series. Oh, freaking red! Are you kidding me? First I thought it was pink, but it's red. So let's see. What does that say? Oh. Okay, I could be down. This is Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. Let me get it. Here's my nonfiction shelf. It is actually hiding behind this book. Here it is. Oddly enough, my husband and I just started rewatching Parks and Recreation. So I believe that this is Aziz Ansari, who plays Tom Haverford, his memoir. A hilarious, thoughtful exploration of the rewards and perils of modern romance from one of this generation's sharpest comedic voices. I don't know. I'm hoping that there is a audiobook and that it's read by Aziz Ansari, but I'll check back when I'm a little way into this book. I think this is one I will actually read. About halfway through Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, and let's see.
It is not a memoir. I thought it was his memoir. It's not. While he does share some of his personal love stories and issues with finding romance, it's not a memoir by any means. It is like actually a scientific study of romance in the modern age, which this book came out in 2015, so it's already quite a bit dated. But it's mostly like how 100 years ago people found their soulmate, their other person, like down the street or even in the same apartment building. And nowadays, because of technology, online dating, the internet, we can find our person anywhere at any time. So it's really like a study on that and how the internet and online dating has helped romance, but also hindered it a little bit too. So it's funny. Like, I'm listening to Aziz read it and it's hilarious. He also put some things in there in the audiobook that aren't in the written book, and vice versa, because there are pictures in the physical book but not obviously in the audiobook. So I'm glad I'm reading it both ways. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but like I said, a bit dated. And right now I'm kind of just reading it for the comical aspects more than the tips, because I'm in a long-standing relationship and don't think I will ever use online dating as a means to find someone. I have never had to use like Tinder or any sort of online dating, which is kind of crazy when I think of it, because 2 of my siblings' relationships they found on Tinder. It's becoming a very normalized thing, and that's great. So I'm gonna keep chugging. I'll probably finish it and update you at the end.
I have completed Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, and ultimately it was underwhelming. I didn't find any of his advice pertinent to me because I'm already in a relationship, have been for 10 years, and this is all about like how to find someone in the new tech age, which is hilarious because it came out in 2015. And so even some of the things he's researching and reporting on, it's dated. So I don't know. He had some funny wit and comical parts in the book, but I don't know. It just kind of like went in one ear and out the other. I don't know. There are some things I learned, I guess. And the few things he wants you to take from the end, like in his conclusion, I guess are like basically the final things you need to know about the book. Finding someone today is more complicated than it was in the past, but you also have way more options, and you'll likely find someone that you are really excited about instead of just finding a companion like you did in, who knows, 1900s. Technology hasn't just changed how we find romance, it's also put a new spin on the timeless challenges we face once we're in a relationship, like sexting or cheating or being entangled with each other's technologies. That was semi-interesting to me. Oh, and I think what's good is you're supposed to treat potential partners like actual people, not just bubbles on a screen. And I think that that's for anyone, not just someone who's looking for a relationship. Technology is super nice to have, but the conversations you have via text or phone call are not as important as the ones you have face to face. So there were some, little nuggets of information to keep in mind, but otherwise it was fine. I'm giving it 3 stars. And also it's like I said, it's so outdated because it came out almost 10 years ago that I just don't think it's very pertinent to today. So you know what that means. Let's pick another book. I feel like we've been flying through the challenge this month. Let's see. I want a romance. So let's see if this is pink. Oh, I got a blue and a green. Let's read them both because they are entangled. So let's see what we got. I actually really want to read that. The Violent Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. And the green, I don't even remember what green is. Is it for YA and middle grade? Every Soul a Star by Wendy Mass. You know, let's just see if we can read both of them, because Every Soul a Star is like super short, I think, and maybe written in verse. And The Violin Conspiracy is a 5-star prediction. I literally just put a video out predicting that I would love this one. So, wow, what a good draw. Let's get those books off of the shelves. Here is classics. Here's YA. Ta-da! Every Soul a Star. And my mysteries are down here. And there it is, I see it. The bright yellow cover. The Violin Conspiracy. I was wrong. This isn't written in verse, but still, yay. I've heard good things. Allie, Bree, and Jack are totally different and complete strangers brought together to view a beautiful and rare solar eclipse. Oh, that's fitting. We just had a solar eclipse this year. Through this one extraordinary event, 3 lives are about to be changed forever in this enchanting story about unlikely friendships and finding one's place in the universe. And then The Violin Conspiracy is a mystery where a priceless violin, like super priceless, a Stradivarius, is that what it is? Yeah. Is taken from someone's violin case, and there is a ransom note for $5 million. I'm very interested. Music and mystery sounds like it could be a win for me. So I'll read both of these in the next couple days.
Kenny is determined to get his name in the history books by finding a bug that hasn't been discovered before. He keeps a huge sketch pad with drawings of every creepy crawler he's come across since he was 5. He then compares the drawings to pictures of bugs in the encyclopedia-like volume, The Complete Bug Hunter's Guide to Insect Life in America, from ants to zarzapods.
I have a book on hold, so we're gonna go do some library perusing. Hello, sorry for the bad lighting and also for the ambient noise in the background. I'm currently sprinting with my patrons, but before I started reading, I wanted to update you on The Violin Conspiracy. I am about a third of the way through on page 118, and I'm really loving it. It is bringing back my time as a musician in high school and college. It's just making me feel the love for music again. So we do follow our main character, what's his name? Raekwon, and he owns a Stradivarius, which is worth $10 million. It's a violin made in Italy, and in the first couple of chapters, it goes missing. It somehow escapes from his case, and he has no idea how, because he had the case in his possession the whole time. So he is being questioned by like FBI agents and like museum experts, because this is a work of art, this violin. And then
we jump back. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be covering the disappearance the whole time, but we jump back and get the history of Raekwon and how he started violin and how he got this violin from his grandma and his pop, his grandma's grandfather. And I just am loving the background. So we get his time in high school when he like first learns that he's really good and someone scouts him, and then we get his time in college when he first finds out that his violin is worth a lot. So that's where I'm at right now. He is about to learn the story about how his grandfather got the violin from his grandma, and he also just got the news that this violin is worth a lot of money. Anyway, really enjoying my time. As far as Every Soul a Star, I have started listening to it, and I'm about 15% of the way through. Don't know much yet, but we're following 3 young adults, Allie, Bree, and Jack. Allie's family runs a campsite, and they are preparing for people to come for the solar eclipse. Jack is about to go on a 2-week science vacation with his science teacher to see the solar eclipse, and Bree is like this snooty tooty gal who wants to become a model, and it sounds like her family is moving possibly to the same campsite to run it. I don't know, confused about that part, but I'm interested to see how their lives connect. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna read.
I am at the Bookham used book sale. I've never been here before. It's the first day that it has been open, and I'm gonna go check it out, see if I can find some books. Fingers crossed. Hello, I feel like I have not updated you in a very long time. We've been busy with family stuff. We had a family reunion yesterday, and just, you know, busy with life. But I have made it quite a bit into Every Soul a Star by Wendy Mass. I'm on page 224. Actually, I think I'm farther than that because I listened to quite a bit this morning. But I'm really close to finishing this one, and it's really good. It's a young adult story about 3 young kids who all meet at this Moonshadow campground. They are all preparing in one way or another for a solar eclipse to happen. Allie has lived at this campground for a while, Bree is moving to this campground, and Jack is going to the campground with a group for a science class kind of thing. And their lives connect, and they make this really unlikely friendship, but it's really sweet. Allie is preparing Bree for what it's like to live there. Bree is preparing Allie for what it's like to live in civilization. And Jack is just there helping with this space experiment that they're doing. They're trying to find a planet, I think. But it's really sweet. For a while, there was kind of this like Parent Trap plot where they wanted to try to convince their parents to not make this switch. But it didn't work out, and so now they are just telling each other how to live in their new lives that will come. So yeah, this one's good. I'll probably finish it later today because I'm listening to it. And then I have been making some good progress in the Violin Conspiracy too. I'm on page 236, so you know, just about a quarter left in the book. And this is phenomenal. I'm really enjoying it. It is about a Black musician
who is playing classical music, and that is a very underrepresented community in the classical world. But I love how this author is saying that Black people can play classical music too. I actually wanted to highlight one quote because someone had called Ray, our main character, and said, "We would love," where does he say it? "We're quite excited for you to do a performance of some of your music." And Ray's like, "What kind of music is that? Brahms, Haydn?" Like, I play classical music, and here's some profanity, but it's, "That shit is dope, yo. I F's with some Mendelssohn. I'ma rock that shit. Playing them arpeggios and shit is my jam. Can't wait to come. Anything but that Gershwin shit, yo. Every time I turn around, somebody's trying to get me to play that fake black shit." And then he goes on, and he's like, "Now that I have your attention, I need you to understand something. I am a musician. I happen to be Black. That doesn't mean that I am any less skilled or knowledgeable than any musician of any other race. You might want to invest in some diversity training rather than paying for a soloist. Get your act together, and I may come and play for you one day. Best of luck." Ray is finally standing up for himself after years and years of racist comments similar to that. He played at a wedding when he was a teenager, and they wouldn't let him in because he was Black, and he snuck in, played the wedding, did a wonderful job, and then the father of the bride was like, "Get out of my house, you N-word." So yeah, he has faced a lot of obstacles with being a Black classical musician, but he's standing up for himself. And this violin, like, the conspiracy around it is so cool. He got this violin from his grandmother, who was gifted it from her grandfather, who was given it from his slave owners. Ray is being sued for the owning of this violin by a couple of different parties, and it is just so interesting to see where this violin came from, how it came to be Ray's, and what that means for him and his musical career. Really, really loving it. It just so happened that the other night, Willie and I went to the Minnesota Orchestra, and they were celebrating Juneteenth, and it was so perfectly juxtaposed with this book. It just was amazing. The orchestra highlighted a Black conductor and many Black artists. They played classical music, but they also had some great other music that represented the Black community. It just showed the true diversity of Black musical culture, and it was a really great event to go to. We went to Brit's Pub beforehand for some dinner and had a nice date, but it was really great to celebrate the Black community in that way. And I also just loved what the conductor said, like, let's celebrate Juneteenth just like it's July 4th. Let's put off fireworks, let's have gatherings and eat food together and celebrate the emancipation of a whole people. So that just went really nicely with what's going on here, because the slave owner family is saying that they are the rightful owners of this violin, and it's like, well, you could also argue that this violin could be paid as a reparation to the Black community after everything that the whites have done to the Blacks in this nation, but who's to say? So it just like, as I was listening to the music and enjoying everything, celebrating the Black community, it was great to think about this book. So yeah, having a great time this weekend reading some books that were chosen out of a jar. I will check back with you in a little bit, hopefully once I have finished or made more progress.
So the week is done, and I completed 2 more books. Every Soul Star was just really sweet. I've had an issue with young adult and middle grade recently that I'm just out of the age range, and so it's never like a 5-star or even really a 4. So I ended up at a 3.5 star with this, but still really happy I read it. And so fitting for the time because we just had a solar eclipse this year, and I knew a lot of solar eclipse chasers, so it was fun to read about that. And then we got a 5-star with The Violin Conspiracy. I absolutely loved this book. The music and the mystery behind the missing violin was just perfect for me. I gotta say, I didn't love how it finished up with who had actually taken the violin, but that wasn't really the main part of the story for me. It was how Raekwon started his musical career and journey and how that violin played into it. So, loved it. So glad I finally read this book. Anyway, that's it for my Read It or Not challenge this month. In this video, I looked at 5 different books. I ended up DNFing What Happens at the Lake and House of Thieves? No, the House of Thieves, yes. And let me know if I messed up on that House of Thieves. I feel a little bad because I realized it's the same author. It's the same author as The Paris Architect, which, oh, there it is. Thanks, buddy. Which I really liked. So I still have that one on my Kindle. Let me know if it was a mistake. That one's called What Happened at the Lake.
What happened to the lake?
And then I read Modern Romance, which was a 3-star, kind of fun and funny. I read Every Soul a Star, 3.5, and I read Violin Conspiracy, which was 5. I'm glad we ended on a high note.
I know.
On the violin. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. Stay tuned for next week where I do another Read It or Not challenge, but with a twist. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.